Hi, good evening. So today we're going to kick off a series where I'll try to do short demonstrations about VerityBeyond GRC and business process management to give an overview of the use cases. So VerityBeyond is a solution that solves for helping a business owner or a business of any size, big, small, large enterprise, to handle their most complex processes, all the way from starting with the customer, onboarding your customers, handling their requests, meeting their needs, taking the payments, sending out the invoices, ensuring that they're happy and that they are fully fulfilled. So GRC and business process management centers around the customer. Everything starts with the customer. The solution is designed to make it easier for a business to better meet the needs of its customers. So we're going to talk about that, and then we'll do a quick demonstration. And then part of that whole process is, if you see at the top, we have customer requests. So customers typically raise requests to a business, and those requests, it could be a request for a product, it could be a request for service, it could be a request for an asset, or it could be a report or a complaint. All those requests need to be taken in from the customers. And those requests need to be taken in, and the business needs to process them to meet the needs of the customers, because that's what they're paying for. So that's what the request process is. And then as a business, you will be providing services to your customers in various sites or various perspectives. So we model sites. And as part of the handling of customer requests, we have this idea of what we call SOPs, or these are called like workflows that drive different aspects of how an organization or a business or a department meets the needs of its constituents. This could be needs of the customer, needs of their assets, needs for their service requests. All of those processes and steps and procedures is what we call standard operating procedures. So VerityBeyond allows you to onboard all those SOPs. It could be ordering, it could be processing, it could be incident management, it could be cybersecurity response, it could be quality evaluation. You name it. All those processes need to be defined properly and then followed by the users of the organization. And then there's assets. So let's go straight to it. Today we're going to talk about the customer onboarding process. And so this is the application, VerityBeyond. So once you buy your instance of the software, typically what you'll be doing in the beginning is you will be onboarding your customers. And that's what we're going to talk about today. It'll be a very short, nice and sweet demo. So when you want to onboard a customer, you start here. So what types of customers could this be? Usually you enter in the first name, the last name, their identity, and then their location. And then there's different types of customer types. The customer could be a regular customer. It could be an employee. It could be a contractor. It could be a supplier. It could be a broker. It could be a vendor. It could be an application. It could be a service provider. It could be a patient in healthcare. So you can enter in all that information, and then the system will log a record for that user. So that will be a customer of your organization or your department that will begin to manage. And once you onboard your customer into the system, all the requests that the customer raises, all the issues that are related to that customer can be associated with that customer's record in the database. So you can also have a non-interactive account. So these are accounts that are typically for systems. Sometimes you want to onboard a system or a department or a piece of organization as a customer, right? It's a non-interactive customer, and then it will log them as a service provider. And then the third type of customer that we have is a service account. This is more useful in the cybersecurity or in the IT space. Sometimes you want to represent service accounts for your application services or your shared services or your application repositories. And you want to be able to raise and process requests according to those identities. So that's typically the process. That's how you onboard a customer. So it's very straightforward. You just come into the system. I will create a non-interactive customer. Let's say the customer's name is Selvin, and the last name is Parker. And then a cell phone is not required, but it's useful if we're going to enable MFA. We'll just put an address, and then that's it. So you save the changes, and that's it. You've just onboarded your customer. So once you onboard your customer, they will show up here in the central database. Now, if you're going to be migrating into the system, you probably will have a list of all your customers that you already service. And what we'll do with you is we'll work with you to export the CSV of all your customers, and we'll automatically load them into the system. If you have a larger system and you want to do a share, or you want to export the data over the wire, we can build out a REST API to get the data in. Once your customers are onboarded, that's the user that we just onboarded, 7 Parker. Now they will have a record. Now we can begin to service their needs. So in the next demo, we'll talk about a customer coming in, and then they have a request, and then we'll show you the end-to-end process of how we use the system to track the request, process it according to our predefined workflow, and make sure that we get value to the customer. All right, I want to keep this demo nice and short and sweet. So this is the first section of VerityBeyond GRC. And again, we went over the customer piece of the software. And the next piece, we're going to go over the SOP. We'll create an SOP that talks about how we're going to process a type of customer request, and then we'll show you the end-to-end process. All right, talk to you soon. You have a wonderful and exciting day. Cheers.